Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am Mia with the Glam Corridor, and my channel focuses on all things fashion, style, and beauty. And for today's video, I just wanted to share my journey as a content creator. So if that's something that you're interested in, please stick around. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so now, and we'll get into the video. Okay, so before I get started, because I will forget, this necklace is by Vitally. They do have this same exact style in silver, so I will be sure to link this. My bracelets, including the Apple Watch, are all by Amazon, except for this watch band bracelet. This is by Etsy. It's just basically a watch band that doesn't have a watch on it, so it's like a bracelet. And these are also by Amazon. If my camera will focus, there we go. So these are all by Amazon as well, except for the watch band bracelet. And these actually come in sets of three. I just broke them up and just added more because I'm extra. And yes, if you are wondering, I do mix my metals. It is okay to mix your metals. Don't let society or people dictate what you can and can't wear. Like, mixing metals is tacky. I don't like it. It's not a good look. Girl, I wear what I like, and you should do the same. Don't let people sway you from wearing what you want to wear. But I typically wear silver on my left hand just because my wedding ring is silver. But I am a gold girl to my heart. I am obsessed with gold. So I'm always going to have gold on this hand. I might incorporate some silver, but it's always going to be gold. And it's always going to be gold necklaces and gold earrings for me. I'm a gold girl through and through. But like I said, I do wear silver on my left hand because of my wedding ring. So, oh, and this shirt is old by Zara, so I'm not going to be able to link it. But I did see where J Lux Label, is that the name of the company? I believe that's the name of it. They came out with a denim collection recently, and they have asymmetrical denim shirts that are similar to this. So I will link that as well. So, like I said, I wanted to briefly share my journey as a content creator. I've gotten a few people to ask, and I just feel like it'll be helpful and beneficial for somebody that's considering getting into it and you don't know exactly how to do it, things like that. So I'm going to start from the beginning. So as long as I can remember, I have always been into fashion and beauty, but more so fashion. Like, I'm just like always drawn to it. Like, fashion is like my first love, my passion. So, high school, my senior year, I'm starting to think about where I want to go to college, what I want to major in. So I was like, either it's going to be fashion merchandise, fashion merchandising, fashion design, or beauty school. I knew it wasn't going to be fashion design because I cannot draw, so I knew sketching was going to be out. And I've never had a passion to necessarily make garments. I can just see pieces that I like, but I've never had a desire to actually make things. So I knew fashion design was out. So my next choice was fashion merchandising, but I really didn't know fully what fashion merchandising entailed. I knew I got the gist of it, but I didn't know fully what that meant. So I was like, okay, that could be an option, or beauty school. So I ended up choosing beauty school because I felt like realistically I could find a job more quickly after I graduated from beauty school, because I live in North Carolina. So it's not like I live in New York City or LA where like fashion jobs are just like available, to me. So I was like, let me just go with beauty school. So I did beauty school, graduated in 2006, and then I worked in a salon for about a year and a half, 2 years. And then I ended up working in a chain salon for a couple of years. And then I was presented with a job opportunity to work for a beauty store that was opening up in the area. So I decided to take that, and I felt like that would open up more doors to possibly get into the door for fashion somehow. I don't know. That's just the way I was thinking. I was like, I could probably network, and I could end up meeting somebody, etc., etc. So I did that for years. And of course, working in that type of store, I was working retail hours. And if you know anything about retail, retail takes precedence over your entire life, like your personal life. You basically have to work your personal schedule around your work schedule, because especially weekends, it's mandatory for you to work on weekends. So that got very old very quickly for me. So I'm married at this point. I got married when I was 21, so I was married at this point. And then a few years later in 2009, I ended up having our daughter. So that was like cutting in on a lot of major family time. So, like I said, that got old extremely quickly. I was frustrated. My husband was frustrated. So, eventually, after several years working retail, my retail schedule, I sat down with my husband and I was like, how would you feel if I stayed home for a few years and just focused on the family and our daughter? And he was fine with that, which was a blessing. And I did that for several years. Fast forward to 2016, I had our son. And then um, at this point, let me fast forward. Let me go back. So throughout my life, people have always been like, you dress so well, you should style people, you should do this, you should do that. So I've always felt like being in fashion or anything dealing with fashion is my gift. So I always felt like if I'm gifted in this area, this is something that I should have a career in. So, like I said, I didn't know exactly what. And at this point, like I told you, I didn't want to work retail. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do in fashion, but I believe you're going to show me. So just kept going throughout the years. And like I said, at this point, we're in 2016 and I had my son. And I started my Instagram account. I can't remember the exact year, but it was between 2013 and 2015. I wasn't posting consistently. I was posting here and there. My family and close friends were following me, so I wasn't getting a whole lot of views or likes or whatever, so I wasn't posting that often. But like I said, people were saying, I would always compliment me. So I was like, okay, social media is a new thing now, so let me just start a page and just like post like tips about styles and different outfits and stuff. So I did that. So as my son got older and we're in 2021 at this point, he's about to start kindergarten. And of course, 2021, we're basically in the thick of the pandemic. So everybody's in the house. Social media is really taking off because everybody's in the house and no one really has anything to do. So that's really when it started to take off. So I didn't necessarily think about creating content. I was just like, okay, I was just consuming content like the majority of people, like just enjoying what everybody else was making. So at that point, when my son was about to start kindergarten, I was like, okay, Lord, I've been a stay at home mom for all these years. I want to start doing something for myself. And I started thinking about, pursuing something within fashion. At this point, I still did not know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I live in North Carolina. It's not a whole lot of fashion opportunities unless you work a retail schedule. And I didn't want to do that. So I just started praying and I was like, okay, Lord, I don't want to go back to retail and I don't want to work a typical 9 to 5. I was like, I want to be able to work from home or possibly have my own business if that's, your will for me to have my own business. So I was very specific about what I prayed for. So I prayed that and I was like, I'm just going to wait and see what he reveals to me. Like I said, time has progressed throughout the years. People, have complimented me on fashion, how I style, things like that. And at one point, for a short period of time, I did style people, but I feel like styling people takes another specific type of gifting. Like you have to know how to style different body types and a lot of other things that come into play. And I don't feel like that's necessarily my ministry. I enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't really feel like this is a portion of the fashion world that I need to continue in. I know how to dress my own body, but I don't really feel like I'm good at dressing other people's bodies. So I stopped doing that. So at one point, I think it was 2000, it was either 2021, 2022. My friend Brene, shout out to Brene, she gave me this huge shout out on her Instagram story one time. And she was just like, my girl goes in with the fashion. She slays, just like so much love. And I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I DM'd her and I was thanking her and all that. And she was like, you really need to start taking content creation seriously. She said you need to start posting reels so people can see, your outfits and stuff. Cause she was like, if you start doing that, your following will skyrocket. And I was like, okay, that's a good idea, but it is also very terrifying for me. Like, I'm very quiet and reserved, and I don't like to put myself out there. Like, I'm the type of person, I like for my outfit to speak for itself as opposed to me actually speaking to people. So when she said that, I was like, okay, Lord. And two, my husband was telling me I need to start creating content, and I had family members telling me. So, like I said, once I prayed the prayer that I just mentioned, after that is when I got, this huge shout out from my friend Brene. So I felt like this was God saying, okay, this is what I want you to do. And I'm like, I don't know anything about creating content. Like, of course, I know of it from, like I said, watching Instagram and TikTok and watching people do things as we're in the house during the pandemic. But I personally do not know how to create content. So I'm like, okay. So I would just like look at other people's reels and kind of see like how they would do it. I didn't want to copy off of anybody. I never want to copy off of anybody. So I was like, let me just kind of see and get some inspiration and see how I could, do have my own style of creating content. So I wrote out a plan of everything I wanted to do. I was very strategic about planning and everything, like what days I was going to post, what outfits I was going to post, and things like that. And I was like, okay, Lord, I feel like this is you telling me this is what you want me to do. So I'm going to have a plan and I'm going to stick with it. So January 2022 is when I decided to become a full time content creator. And I committed to doing it. I was like, I'm going to post 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and I'm going to take the weekends off. All right. So I'm getting up, being consistent, posting, whatever. And I forgot to mention when I decided to go full time with, when I decided to go full time with content creating, my following on my page was a little under 600. So I think it was like 593 followers, something like that. But it was a little under 600. So like I said, started posting, being consistent, being regular, things like that. So as time progressed, I wasn't getting a lot of likes and I wasn't getting a lot of views. And I'm going to be very transparent. I was being very impatient and I was just like, Lord, well, I don't think this is really what you want me to do. Like, nobody's really seeing this. I'm not getting a lot of likes. What if people start being negative in the comments? I was just being pessimistic about the whole thing, but he was just like, just keep going, just keep going. So fast forward to April of the same year, April 2022, one of my reels went viral. So overall, it got a little over 2 million views. I can't remember how many views it got in that single day, but it did go viral, but I can't remember the exact amount. So I was like, whoa, okay, Lord. And it was very exciting, but very intimidating at the same time because at this point, that like right before my reel went viral, I think I had like 2,400 followers. So I had like a small community of people that was in my comments, like, saying, this was inspirational. The things that I was posting was inspirational, things like that, just being really kind. And when my reel went viral, for the most part, people were being kind and saying, oh, this is fly, the outfit you posted is fly, just whatever they were saying in the comments. But when your reel goes viral, you're getting people that obviously don't follow you. So, of course, you're going to get some negativity. But for the most part, it was people being nice. But just having a reel go viral for the first time and you don't have a huge following, it's very scary and exciting. That's the only way I can describe it. So I was like, okay, Lord. So like 5 days after my reel went viral, like I said, the before it went viral, I was at 2,400 followers, and then 5 days later, I shot up to 4,600 followers. And then a week later, I went up to 10K. So I was like, okay, Lord, like this is definitely confirmation that you want me to be a content creator. So I always had content planned like at least a month in advance because I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't stick with it. And that would be my excuse not to continue to post. Like, well, I don't have anything else to post, so I guess I'll just stop now. I was like, no, if I'm serious about this and I want this to be my career and how I potentially earn money, I need to make sure that I'm always planned out ahead of time. So, like I said, once my reel went viral that April 2022, I was just still being consistent, making sure I was doing what I was supposed to do, staying on top of things. And then fast forward to June of the same year, 2022, I got a DM from a management company, Jexy. Shout out to Jexy. I'm still with them to this day. They contacted me and asked if I had management, and I'm like, no. Um, And I responded that way. I mean, in my mind, I responded that way because I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about management. Like, I was like, oh, I guess content creators do have management and that's an option. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was still trying to figure out how to create reels and how to just maintain and figure out this whole content creation thing. So I wasn't even thinking about management. Um, so I was just like, no, I don't have management. And they were like, well, we would be interested in you signing on with us. And then they asked, if they could do an interview and things like that. And I was like, I'll get back to you all. So I just prayed about it and I was like, is this something that I really want to do? Do I need to do it this early on? Because, like I said, I just started doing it consistently in January 2022. And then I get the DM in June. So I'm just like, is this too soon? Like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, people don't start with management as a content creator until like they're in like a few years. I don't know because, like I said, I'm still new, so I'm trying to figure out things. So I just prayed about it. So long story short, I ended up signing with them. Like I said, I'm still with them to this day, and they helped me strategize. They helped me get brand deals, different collaborations, things like that. So very thankful to them. They've been a huge help. So just still being consistent. And then at the end of the year of 2022, it was actually Christmas Eve. I ended up hitting 100K. And y'all, like, there is no other thing that I can tell you other than it was nobody but God. Like, when I tell you I had no idea what I was doing that entire year, like I was just like I said, I just had a plan. I strategized. I prayed and talked to God about everything that I did, and I just remained consistent. Like I said, initially I was, getting impatient and getting discouraged because it wasn't happening when I wanted it to happen. But looking back, it only took, like I said, January I started, April is when my reel went viral, and then that's really when my community and my growth start to pick up. So just looking back, it wasn't that long period of time, but like I said, I was posting 5 days a week, so like posting and not really seeing that growth in a certain amount of time, you feel like, oh my God, it's not working out. But it did. And like I said, at the end of 2022 is when I hit 100K. And I would have never thought in a million years that I would be at 100K. I would have thought, I think, and another thing I forgot to mention is I made short term goals and long term goals for myself. So one of them was like a certain amount of followers I wanted to have within like a year or something. And I exceeded that way beyond what I expected. I'm like 100K within basically a year of being a content creator. I would have thought it would have taken me years to get to that amount. And I'm not bragging at all because it's all thanks to God because I didn't do it on my own at all. Because like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. So once I hit that, I was just like, this is amazing because just the different opportunities that I've had since I've been a content creator, the different brands that I've worked with, all the dope style influencers and other content creators that I've met since I've been a content creator has just been, I would have never thought that I would have the opportunities and just been able to meet the people that I've met and just have a community on Instagram that shows me so much love. Shout out to everybody that follows me on Instagram. Like, y'all encourage me beyond belief. Like, y'all will never know how much y'all encourage me and the want to keep going and the just to know that this is what the Lord wants me to do, and I'm just going to continue to do it. And I'm just beyond grateful. So at this point, we're obviously in 2024, and it's actually May. At this point, my community is almost at 200,000. And it's just like I said, all thanks to the Lord, because I would not have been able to get to this point without Him. Like I said, it has come from just being consistent, strategizing, and just having faith and stepping out and doing it. I saw this quote the other day, doing it afraid. I was terrified to start creating content and putting reels out there because you're putting yourself out there to so many people, right? And it's like you're opening yourself up to critique, criticism, negativity. But for the most part, people are always so kind, so encouraging, and so nice. So again, I cannot thank you all enough. I hope this was helpful. I will be coming back sharing other ways and things as far as content creation. So If you have any questions, just feel free to drop anything that you can think of below in the comment box. I promise you I will respond back. Like I said, I will be back with more videos just to motivate and to, just share my personal journey as a content creator. So that is all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you are not following me on Instagram or TikTok, my handle is at the Glam Corridor. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.